Well, I guess you just want to walk the property line?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. We can just kind of head up to this corner here. You just want out of the way. Oh. Look at the box.
Hey, nice pointer.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. He's beautiful. So obviously this is our opposite for this back corner.
Right, and it's a little too steep.
Too steep?
Yeah, there she is. All right, let's take a walk down this way.
Yeah. So why is your mom recommending me to you?
Well, she's who watches the show.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
And she's like, oh, there's another person who's polyamorous. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Serious?
Oh, yeah. No, I used to take the couple I was dating out to the family events and everything. It's
Oh my God.
probably in a different style than yours, but I think that's the thing about polyamory.
Or anything like that? Okay.
No, I got more.
Yeah.
You think, who's the girl with the bow?
A hex.
You think she's gonna plug one of them?
I don't know. I mean, Red plugged one.
Did he?
2 weeks ago.
No,
yeah, we ate that thing for a week. It was awesome. She's gonna go out eventually when we need it.
All right.
So.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
Talk to me.
Well, give me a second. Let me get ourselves situated. You're. So far, it's nothing be-worthy. Does anything there?
I'm out? Like,
yeah, do you move anything?
I mean, the only corner here, the only function is that Hex uses it for target practice, as you can see. Yeah. But she was doing that up against the tree up there. Like, I think that could be moved. We might have to consult with that.
All right, because this is like the second best location I've seen so far. All you need is the size of a pallet, and that's going to be good for you. So it's not like I have to plan out a huge row of 100.
Yeah,
so you're going to be all right.
For sure. So that's a good spot, potentially?
That's a really good spot,
where the hay bales are?
Yep.
About how much of a radius are you thinking with like people not going near it?
Okay, so here's what it's going to look like. If you have hives set up there, all of a sudden you're going to see bees flying like this. Okay. And they're going to be just starting to lift off where you get to that fence, which is another problem you might have.
Coming in at an angle.
Yeah, if you want to be keeping, all this stuff here to eat, that's going to be difficult for you unless I put up a fence to have them go over you.
I see. Okay.
On the college's farm where I set them up with bees, it wasn't a huge problem for them, and we never had any stings. But I'm trying to keep it real clean, real neat.
Yeah, of course.
Not everyone here's a farmer.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a really good second, and it keeps it far away enough from the house. Yeah. And it really does keep it far away enough from the water so that you'll get a good spread. Yeah. Because bees in the water, you ever get stung? You ever step on a bee at the ocean?
No, I haven't been stung since I was like 10. That was like the only time I've been stung by a bee in my life.
Bees, they get to the water, and for one reason or another, they become a little bit slow.
Okay.
And they get hit by things, and they get rolled over, and maybe it's the surface tension holding them there. I don't know what it is, but bees and water tend to be a little bit difficult when it comes to walking around.
Okay.
Up in that corner is probably the next one. When did you learn your poly? If you wouldn't mind,
How did I? What was my ushering in?
Not everybody chooses that life, even though it's appealing to more people than ever let on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. No, for me, it was, at the time, it was about 5 years ago. I was in a long-term monogamous relationship, about 3 years in, and I was just miserable. Like, I was miserable, I was restless, and I didn't cheat. But I really wanted to.
I get you.
Like, really wanted to, but I kind of looked at the options that society was presenting for me.
Mind if we chill here for a sec?
And the only options were either to just tough it out and be miserable, or to go cheat, you know, or to end the relationship,
right?
You know, and I didn't want to do any of those things. Got to be a better way. And so that's when I started researching. I'm very academically minded, you know, so I went to the library and got books and went to blogs and read articles and.
You're at the
It was amazing that this is the way I've felt my whole life, and it's a viable, healthy option. And so I presented it to my boyfriend at the time, and he said, "Okay, let's try it." And it was horrible. Like, it was awful, you know, because he was like super monogamous and like didn't actually want to do it. But even though it was awful, like I still knew, I was like, this is what I need to be doing.
I get you.
You know, and so that relationship ended up ending. And then for 4 years after that, up until now, it was a lot of trial and error. And then about 2.5 years ago, I finally got like really good relationships. I finally found kind of the right people in my life to be doing it, and I've just been like rocking it ever since.
Nice, comfortable little circle.
Yeah, kind of something like that. I mean, so I have my primary partner who I live with in Hollywood, and then my other boyfriend. But then, and so that's kind of my little quad, but everybody in that little quad sees other people as well. So, yeah. What about you?
When I was very young, you know, very
like a
young.
fairy tale already.
Story time with Jake can be really fun, I promise you that. Best friend used to take turns kissing her. And that was the coolest thing in the world. And we had those little toy cars that you could sit in, and we would both push her so she could go faster, and she like loved it. And I think, you know, there's no real consciousness, there's no metacognition that happens when you're that young that goes beyond a few steps.
You can't analyze it at that point.
Yeah, not deep enough to understand that this is something that's conceivable for me. But then later on, God, I was 17, and I fell in love with a beautiful man. Really, you know, kind of so different from me and so much like me. And whenever he had a girlfriend, I kind of had a girlfriend too. You know, him and I, we kept our own lives, but whenever we would meet up.
Was that reciprocated from him?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wait, clarify.
Like it was a mutual thing. Like it wasn't just like a crush that you had on him. Like
oh no.
Got it.
No. I was his first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was his first. And whenever he had a girlfriend, I kind of had a girlfriend too. And that was really fun. And that progressed and progressed as I got older and older. And he went off, I think his first track. And I went off, you know, traveling the country, being crazy. And he came back, and we kind of started it up again with another very good friend of mine, a person that's like my best friend, absolute best friend in the world. If you look up at the sky, the brightest one for me is he's just as special as anyone's ever been.
And the three of you were involved.
And the three of us were involved. And then he sort of faded away, and it was just her and I, and then I went up to Washington to study beekeeping. And she stayed down here and became, you know, fairly big in a psychology type business.
Good for her.
Of course. And she mostly prefers women, but it was very nice for her to make an exception for me. I think the best compliment I've ever gotten from a girl was, you look like a lesbian. So that's so
that's
sweet
a fantastic
that's
compliment.
So sweet of you to say.
That's a fantastic compliment.
Put a grin on my
You gotta like gold plate that one and like you should have that on a card in your wallet to like give to women.
Lesbian approved.
Like a card carrying honorary lesbian.
Right there. Thank you. No, that was great. And so after I went up, had a monogamous relationship with a really cool guy, really smart guy. With cops in Austin, Texas. Really good. And for reasons, you know, development stages in our life, we ended things. And just as I was about to come back down, I got a call from the Marine. And he said, what you been up to? What you been up to? And he said, well, I got a fiance. Oh,
wow.
We were wondering if you'd like to hang out sometime. I thought, oh boy, here it goes. And I went over to their house, Halloween night. And from that night on, me and her, this is a girl that is beautiful, very smart, and sort of, I think the moment I just knew that I liked her, we were camping out in the desert, way, way, way out in this valley, in Death Valley. And it was 17 degrees out, but we were all dirty. And he got in the shower, he's a Marine, whatever. I get in the shower, I'm crazy, whatever. And she out in the outdoor showers, doesn't complain about it. I thought, wow, this is someone that I really like being around. It still leaves an impression. I still get chills thinking about how cool she was. Well, me, him, and her, we were together. Boom, the three of us, like every day. We lived together, we worked together, we went out together, went out to all my family's holidays. And we went out to all his family's holidays. We kind of kept things from her parents.
Oh, I see.
You know, protect the
Her parents
daughter.
are not so much into...
We didn't want to test those waters. You know.
It was rough telling my parents.
You know, I was going to ask because, like I was mentioning up there, there's this mentality that people have still, and it's not a directly aggressive or condescending one deliberately, but that women are, if not property, then something that needs to be shepherded through a world they couldn't possibly comprehend. And
it's also, and a woman who's empowered to not only enjoy sex, but to choose her sexual partners and to own her sexuality is apparently a very scary thing to a lot of people.
Dangerous. Number of that have gained power in the world. I mean, you look at just the words that we have for the same behavior, whether it be male or female.
Of course, the double standard.
The horrifying double standard.
But sorry, finish your
well,
tale.
You know, it's about the same year, almost the same year, certainly the same decade. We had a full picture view of the Earth as one continuous object. What one part will affect the other. In the same year, we had birth control. And so these are two mindsets. One, that, you know, this is all we've got, and it's a limited resource. And two, that sex doesn't lead to progeny, and progeny equals property and inheritance rights. And, you know,
agrarian revolution,
and
all that, you know, totalitarian agriculture.
Entirely so, and the importance of keeping up numbers in case other totalitarian societies need to expand.
Exactly.
Agriculture. We might have stung ourselves pretty bad with agriculture.
Oh yeah, no,
it's possible.
It's so funny. Yes, in the story B. Okay, so you know, like, and let me tell you, like here, I know we have to have the garden, but there's been so many times I've been digging. Do this.
There's got to be some healthy balance. I mean, I love the idea.
Yeah.
The problem with evolution is that it doesn't prioritize good or bad, because those concepts exist on a functional level. But because of that, because we develop as to what is survivable, the mindsets of agriculture, I think through all the wars and all the killing and all the death, have slowly become more pervasive.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Well, anyway. So.
But you're telling your.
Oh yeah. The whole. Oh, that's the that part two. That tale should come later. But just press
later.
The pause.
If there's a sequel.
Jesus, yeah. No, there's a press the pause button as the three of us are living together quite happily and working together and rather enjoying each other's company. But yeah.
Okay.
Polyamorous.
So is that still happening, or okay? So how long ago is this where we're ending our scene, the first act?
It'll be 3 years in 2 months.
Okay. And so.
And since then, I've been reasonably single, with the exception of one very cool Vietnamese girl up in Washington that I dated.
Awesome.
Yeah. Another one of those rare types, you can't really peg them into any category.
That's so fantastic. That just blows my mind. Like, it's been so interesting here, and I'm sure you've experienced this in people's reactions to your lifestyle. You know, just there's so much misperception and so much misunderstanding. You know.
Yeah, and again, I'd like to have the philosophical discussion of what works and what doesn't, especially because you're looking at it in the context of people's judgments of you and your behavior, you know, sort of vis-a-vis all the other people's reactions. So are you treating your partner how you want to be treating them? Are you treating your secondary the way you want to be treating them because people will judge you for treating them well? Do other people's opinions start to affect the decisions that you make that you know is best for your relationships?
Well, completely.
It's a huge conundrum. It's very functional. There's a number of polyandrous societies.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Africa, India,
and China.
And they're really, really. Although I have found that the trend often is limited resource and the importance of having two providers for offspring.
Female and offspring, definitely.
And then I can't remember where it is, but there's one where there's sort of almost like a group of brothers will select one, and it has a similar idea of keeping resource
I think
together.
that's an Indian. I think that's in.
I think that might be
Indian
somewhere
groups,
there, or the Himalayas, so in that region.
Yeah.
But because they're in a society that's completely and totally conducive, you wind up with people who are, you know, hey John, hey Lisa, hey Bill.
Yeah.
Not like, hey John, hey Lisa, Bill.
There's Bill. Yeah, exactly.
The problem with John and Lisa.
Exactly. It's so true.
Bill's been keeping John and Lisa together for years.
So how are your parents' reactions to it?
I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Really?
Yeah. My parents, they I'm so proud of them for being so okay with all the crazy that comes out of me. I've never been like the really like rebellious, disrespectful child. I've just been the one that's like, where is Jake? Jake's off.
I mean, I've definitely been the same. I was never the rebel. You know, I was always the good kid, and so I think that was why it was hard for my mom. Because I mean, it's good now. I came out of the closet to her about a year ago about it all, and it was really, really, really rough at
Do we have another word for that? The closet? Are we coming out of the chest of drawers?
Out of the wardrobe.
Out of the bureau.
Out of the magical wardrobe.
That's right. And out pops a lion and
polyamorous people come. And that's because my mom is, I mean, I was raised Christian. I was raised Nazarene Christian.
Nazarene Christian?
Yeah.
Where's that region? Where's the Nazarene Christian from?
Oh, well, it's based on, like, of Nazareth.
Jesus of Nazareth.
Jesus of Nazareth, you know. The Nazarenes were descended from, like, the Catholics, I think.
Okay, there we are.
Yeah. And so it was kind of the same conversation of not only am I poly, but also I'm not a Christian anymore.
Oh.
And so that was really, really tough for her. It was like this double whammy. But now it's gotten to a point where it's much better. It's much healthier. Like, she asks me about it all the time. And leading up to this, like, she came to LA, you know, to be with me for like 3 or 4 days before leaving. And she was there with me on my last day with my boyfriend and my other boyfriend and my girlfriend, you know. And, like, I think getting to actually see and meet the people that I love and who love me was huge for her. I think it changed her perception of it a lot and made things a lot more easier to accept, you know.
Yeah. I think that's, you know, it's so funny. Hex asked me about if I knew about Tantra the other day. And I thought that was so funny because I was like, well, Tantra's a big practice. And she white Tantra. I know what she's talking about. But one of the other tenets of Tantra is that there's the importance of a guru. And when I was younger and rebellious, it was all like, you know, who needs teachers? But I've started to figure out that when you're new into a world and you need that acceptance of the social structure around you, it's nice to have a person show up. And, you know, like I said, story time with Jake in the last days. But I had one younger boyfriend. He was just 18 and, you know, 24. And not really, you know, half your age plus 7. It was, you know, it was an old 18 and a young 24. But
you folios.
Crazy. Out of here. This is gonna turn into a duel, I swear to God. 10 paces.
We're trying to have an intelligent discussion here.
Pull my nails off.
You got 2 eyes. You got way too eyes. You got 2 eyes.
Well, this guy's parents weren't accepting at all.
Okay.
And they didn't get it. And
how long ago?
He ran away years and years. He ran away. And he came to my house, of course, and I was like, the car. We're going back to your house. And I sat down and I'm not. Here's my contact. This is my name. This is my number. This is my email. Here's where I work. These are the classes I'm taking. I want you to know that I'm, just another guy. And that you can call me whenever you need me to. And that was the difference in his family between I am transgressing against my parents and this is our son is wild versus, you know what, my son might be able to navigate
open, communicative,
this
honest. Yeah, definitely. It makes a huge difference.
My ears are beat red. Someone must be talking about us.
Definitely.
Well, shall we?
Yeah, so you want to check out back there?
Real quick, so we've got right over there, that might screw with her archery.
Yeah.
But if we can move the archery, that'll be good.
Yeah.
What was the question about dueling earlier? Why were we talking duels?
It's because all the girls in here think you're really cute. And so as soon as we knew you were showing up, all the guys were like, and so we're like, oh, take it to a duel.
No. I'm probably not much.
But that's my thing. The whole jealousy thing is, I haven't had to deal with that in a long time
Jealousy
in my life.
will happen.
No, of course. No, it completely happens, but it's the way you deal with it,
No,
there's a hammock here, but it can be moved. Nobody really hangs out in that hammock because it kind of sucks anyway.
All right. And the other options are livestock, and I can't have that.
No, so back here probably.
And if every time I say second now, it's going to have a whole new context. Yeah. All right,
but it sounds like the idea of the fence to kind of angle, like you said,
yeah,
with
no,
the
that's
takeoff
a really
pattern.
good old practice, and it'll help you out really well.
I think that'll be good.
Also, I don't have to angle the opening of the hive perpendicular to the walkways. I can always angle it so that it goes a little ways away.
Yeah.
Oh, you have aloe. Cool.
Yes, no, I helped with a lot of sunburns actually. It's, seriously, a lot of us burned to a crisp when we first got here.
I can't even imagine how hot it gets out here.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's like 106 degrees on some days. No, where you wanted it was, just kind of show me again so I can point it out to